Welcome to San Jose Tree Service Incorporated. Today's video is going to be talking about tree health. My name is Robert. I'm a certified arborist on staff. I often go out with clients and look at trees that they're concerned about. They see some issues, maybe there's a dead branch or something that's causing the tree not to look healthy. And I'm helping them, guiding them through the steps on what we can do to identify issues in the tree and figure out what we can do to fix them. So today's video, we're going to talk about identifying those signs and symptoms of a tree that's in poor health. So we're going to go to some trees and we're going to actually take a look in person. So here's our first tree. Remember, we're looking at tree health. We're not focusing on structure, but symptoms and things we look for when we're considering a healthy tree. So this would be a tree we'd be looking at a nursery to purchase. And already I'm sure you can see some of the issues. We have lots of dead twigs and leaves here within the canopy. It's very thin, we would say sparse. You want to see, what you're looking for in a healthy tree is green foliage all around. You don't want to see any dead twigs or branches. That's a sign there could be a disease. The tree could be stressed. It could have some girdling roots in the container because it's been in it too long. It could not be getting sufficient water and moisture. So the other things we want to look for, that's one, you look at the top, the foliage, the branches, and you also want to look at the trunk and the wood. So you want to see if there's any signs of cankers. That'd be a wound or maybe a fungus development on the wood. You want to look to see, in this one we can't really get into the roots, but you want to see if there's any roots that are girdling, that are growing around in circles. That often happens in containers. That can cause the tree to be unhealthy later on in life as it gets older. But and the last thing I would look for is insects. Is there any signs of any insects in the tree, aphids, scales, within the leaves or the twigs? You want to look at the trunk to make sure there aren't any boring beetles, holes in the trunk. But overall, this tree would be considered unhealthy because of all the dead wood in the canopy. And this is a stress problem. It's not getting watered enough. This is from our yard. It's one of the trees that we're just not paying attention to. And that's what happens. That's what it looks like. It could be a blight if it were planted. This also has the symptoms of some type of blight, but an unhealthy tree trying to make a recovery, but in bad shape. So do not buy a tree that's looking like this. So previously we looked at a new tree in a container at a nursery. What are the signs and symptoms you look for to see if it's healthy? This is a mature tree. This is a valley oak. It's been here almost 100 years now. And we're going to look at what things to look for to see if it's healthy. And we're going to start from the top to bottom. There's different methods. You can start bottom to top, but either way we're going to hit all of the things that should be considered when you're looking for tree health. So the main things you want to look for, just like we did on the other tree, is the foliage. Is it thin? Is it sparse? Are there dead branches, dead leaves? Those are all signs that the tree is not healthy. You want a dense crown. You want lots of foliage. You don't want big dead branches throughout the canopy. And it could be a health problem if there's dead branches. This one, as you can see, there are some big dead branches, but other than that, there isn't too much. So it is a tree that's struggling, and we'll get a little closer look and we'll go look at the trunk and maybe even up into the inner canopy to see what other issues there are. But generally, top to bottom, you're looking at the foliage because that's the easy thing to see. So when we're thinking of health, is the tree healthy? There are also some other things you want to look for that may not be so obvious. As I showed you previously, we looked at the foliage. You want to see how much dead branches there are in the canopy, if there are big dead branches or leaves. But there are issues that maybe aren't so evident. And you want to look at the trunk. You want to see if there's any big wounds in the trunk. This one doesn't have any. But you want to see if there's signs of boring beetles, especially if you have a pine tree here in the Bay Area. Lots of pine trees are dying from the red turpentine bark beetle. This is an oak, so they could be getting ambrosia beetles, but this doesn't have any. which is great, but it's a possibility that if you're looking for tree health, you would see some beetle holes. It's almost like someone took a small drill and punctured the tree and the sawdust came out. So this doesn't have any, which is great. The other thing you want to look for is the root crown to see if there's any mushrooms or cankers or any cracks, overwatering, things like that. Again, none of those signs or symptoms here, but the reason why this tree isn't doing so well is because this road was put in here and it's damaged the roots on one side. So that's why only one side of the tree has dead branches and the other side looks great. So that's the cause of it, but again, we're just identifying things that help us notice whether a tree is healthy or not. So this tree isn't healthy, not because it's dealing with a pest or a bug, but because it's dealing with some environmental issues, some root stress. And it can be worked on. We would go into a situation like this and start working on the roots to create a better environment for growth and get some more moisture in there. So hope those tips help. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch. We're happy to help. We do this all week and all over the Bay Area. So continue to watch our videos, like and share if this is helpful, and we look forward to helping you in the future.